The Hetzer is a German Tier 4 tank destroyer. It is a light, low-profile tank destroyer designed according to General Heinz Guderian's specifications. The Hetzer was produced from April 1944 to May 1945, with a total of 2,584 vehicles manufactured. In World of Tanks, Hetzer leads to Stück 3 Aus G, but let's see how it fares in some gameplay. Hello guys and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be driving the Hetzer, and driving the Hetzer is brkus. And you can see that the map is Malinovka, and you might be wondering why are we reviewing a Hetzer, why is this an important tank, and why should anybody care to see anything related to Hetzer. Well, there's a couple of things I want to highlight in this matchup, and there's some things that I want to discuss that many of the people would usually forget when playing World of Tanks, and that is, well, I'll start from the, well, most important thing. Yeah, when you're playing any game, it doesn't have to be World of Tanks, you have to have fun. And sometimes people just forget that having fun is the most important thing, and that you can have fun even with lower tier tanks. Some of the lower tier tanks are really bad, and I wouldn't recommend driving them anyhow. Let's say for example this A20 that is in front of the Hetzer. I really disliked that tank and didn't have any good games with it, and I just skipped past to it. But he is... let's just see the shot on the small looks. That's a one shot by the brkus, seeing his first shot from the Hetzer. And this is what I'm talking about. You want to have great games, but you also want to have fun, and this is what you can expect when you are driving the Hetzer. And also the second shot here is what you can expect when you are driving the Hetzer trying to snipe at long ranges. It's not that accurate, the shell flies slowly, and you have to give some, well, a huge amount of lead. Fortunately he gets shot there once, 120 damage, and he is almost on the half of his HP, so yeah, you have to be careful from the tank destroyers on the other team. Well, I'm talking about fun, and we're seeing that brkus is having some great fun here. He is in a nice position, as you can see here, for a tank destroyer or any tank. He is using binoculars and camo net, and as you can see, he doesn't have that huge view range that you might expect. Unfortunately, that T-28 fell before the shell landed on him. Shell velocity is pretty slow on the HE shells on the Hetzer. So the view range is bad on the Hetzer, and you're not going to expect seeing anything in this tank destroyer, so you have to be relying on your friendlies to spot for you. Oh, let's just see what he can do with this tank. Really nice shot there. He didn't even fully aim this one, and he was able to finish off that tank. Yeah, I was talking about that you have to rely on your friendly tanks to spot for you, some light tanks perhaps, because you're not going to see far. You can see that even with the full view range that you can have with this tank, you don't see far enough, maybe like just a couple of 100 meters, 300 perhaps. Yeah, the other thing that is great on this tank actually is the camouflage. So it is a small silhouette tank and it has great camouflage. And another nice shot. This is why you have to play these small tanks. This is something that you have to be... this is something that everybody loves. You want to one-shot tanks. It doesn't matter which tier they are. Just want to one-shot them. Unfortunately that one flies over. He wasn't able to hit that one on the Hetzer, but I believe that he's going to continue. This one maybe went in if the Hetzer didn't move from that position. Unfortunately, this is what I was talking about. Now he has poor view range, and he is not able to spot those tanks anymore. He should be moving up, or he should be waiting for the enemies to push forward. Yeah, and back to the having fun in World of Tanks now. Many of you, and I was like that before, are thinking that one of the most important things is the WN8 in this game. WN8 is something that was conceived to be, well, something to be a measure for the how good player you are, how vastly you are superior to the other players in this game. And it has brought to me just, I didn't have that great feeling when I was, well, playing with WN8, and I just see my team is full of red players, and you immediately start calling them, oh, noobs, this and that, and after that you just lose the hope that you can even win this game, and you are playing poorly, and you are occupied by the thoughts that you are going to be, yeah, if I lose this game it's not my fault, it's the fault of my team, and that kind of thinking is bad for you. And well, any kind of thinking that, well, my team didn't carry me, I have a bad team, so I'm not going to even try and play this game, I'm just going to drown, if you're an artillery player. So yeah, that is something that I don't really like, and people usually forget that the most important thing when you are playing a game is to have fun. And yeah, I'm just mentioning WN8, but there are a lot of other things, like, well, playing with your tanks and somebody starts calling you names in the chat. That's something also bad that you really don't want to be a part of, and there are a couple of things that you can do and to just avoid those things. For example, you can turn off the chat if that annoys you, or as me, you can just stop using XVM and you don't see what are the enemy players like, and after that you don't feel that you are going to lose the game because, oh, my team is bad, and you start whining and not concentrating on the game, which is the most important thing. So what I'm trying to say is, the people are usually just, people on the internet are just bad sometimes, and if you're a player in World of Tanks, you'll come across probably some bad players that are going to tell you some mean things. And one of those things is, if you're a bad player in World of Tanks, you're going to be called a noob a lot, because people are using XVM and they think that's a measure for how good you are. So why am I saying all this? And just to notice that doesn't have to do anything with this gameplay. So far so good. brkus has a great game. He has 4 kills. All of those 4 kills were basically one-shots on the enemy tanks. And we can see that he has the Hetzer here on the middle of the map. And yeah, another one-shot. So just notice the loadout on the Hetzer. He has 3 premium shells and the rest are HE shells. Didn't talk much about the gun on this tank. The gun is, oh, I believe it's a 10.5 centimeter, 64 millimeters of penetration with the regular shells, 53 with the HE, and 110 with the premium. So when you are driving this tank destroyer, you want to use the premium shells. Oh, and unfortunately he bounces the heat shell on the side of the Hetzer. Now, he's spotted there. He doesn't have the 6th sense, but you can know he is spotted. He fired from that bush. That Hetzer was 100 meters from him and he got spotted. Now, good thing here is he can move forward and spot the Hetzer once again. Just, he needs to aim and finish him off. Aiming, 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 and once again the heat shell bounces. Yeah, that's not really great for him, but he's still in a good position here. He's behind the cover. The enemy Hetzer doesn't see him. He's focusing probably this Panzer 38T. Now he can go forward, find another shot on the Hetzer. Unfortunately, he misses this one. Now, to be fair, he didn't really aim that well. He should have stopped, aimed better on the Hetzer. Just like this, and finish him off now. that's a 5th kill, sorry, that's a 6th kill. I forgot the shot on the second Hetzer on the left side. But as you can see, the Pak 40 is just putting one shot back immediately after he killed the 6th guy on his conto. So yeah, and now is 2 versus 2. Okay, the friendly team really needs to stop dying. So yeah, he is in a nice position here. If anybody tries to flank them, he will be able to spot them. He cannot get spotted in these bushes. As I said, he has a good camo crew and... sorry, he has a good camo rating on this tank destroyer, and he has the camo net on the tank. It is active, and we'll see just where the rest of the tanks are. I just want to go back to the story about the WN8. Yeah, now it is a good measurement for how good you are, but there are some things that the WN8 really doesn't measure that well, so it is expected for you to spot in your light tanks, right? And if you spot 8000 damage in your light tanks and you don't do any damage by your light tank, you're not going to get that WN8 you desire. You are not going to be the unicum. Even though you carry the game, it is undeniably that you did all the spotting. You have that 8000 damage on your... just your gameplay did that. It is all you, and yet you don't get that WN8. Oh, this is quite unfortunate. He is left alone against 2 tank destroyers. Let's just see if this Hetzer makes a mistake and goes forward, and we'll see if he can finish this off. Yeah, side of the Hetzer, he tracks him. Will he have the reload, or the Hetzer will have his shot? Auto aims the Hetzer, and on the move, really nicely here. And now he has 3 minutes to find the last tank and finish him off. But there's only one problem, he has only 1 shell left. Yeah, like, the loadout on the Hetzer is not that great. You only get 20 shells and you have to make them count. As you saw there, he was able to one-shot basically any tank, but if you miss a couple of shells like he did there, you're going to be in a serious trouble. So, last shell remaining, and he needs to find the last tank and kill him for the 8th kill and the Fadin's medal. In a tier 4, who would have guessed? Yeah, so you can have fun in tier 4, right? It's not like you have to play tier 10 to have fun. And you're probably going to get annoyed less when you're playing in a tier 4 and than in the tier 8. So why am I saying all this? I just want to remind you guys that we play games because we like it. We want to be playing games and enjoying ourselves. If the WN8 is something that is not good for you, like it wasn't for me and I decided not to use it anymore, if it brings me to... oh, that was a bad shot and he has to get out of here. Nice jump down. That FCM has the better view range and he found him. Just to finish off my story before we see the conclusion of this replay. Now, if there are some things that annoy you, like the chat, WN8, or anything else, bad tanks, then just simply don't use the WN8, don't let people send you messages in the chat. You can disable the chat. Don't use bad tanks in your tank arsenal. Just drive the tanks that you like and be the best as you can. Yeah, let's just see how this ends. I hope you guys, well, I hope you hear me and what I'm trying to say here. I may be babbling a little bit, but this is something that I wanted to talk about, and well, that's something that bugs me a lot, and I haven't really played World of Tanks lately because I've been having so many bad games. I just get into a game, and as I'm a good player by the WNA standards, I get arty shot a lot. That's something that happens to me a lot, and it really ruins the game for me. And even though I just... oh, he finds the shot. Nice here, 48 kill and the Fadin's medal. That's a GG, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. Well, brkus had a really nice game. He got a couple of medals like Bruiser, Fire for Effect, Fadin's High Caliber Top Gun, and of course the Master Badge Ace Tanker. On the team score sheet we can see that he did 1321 damage, 8 kills and 930 experience. On the detail report we can see that he fired all of his shots 20 to count, and with the premium account he was able to score 7000 credits. Well, let's just take a look what we saw in this gameplay. Now we saw how you can have fun in this matchup that he got here. He was driving a tier 4 tank and he had a blast. Driving with the Hetzer, scoring those long range hits, one-shots on the enemy tanks, and just having fun and just playing excellent as he can in those kind of gameplay. On the tactics side, he did everything he could. He went to a good position for a tank destroyer. On the low view range on the lower tiers, you are really favored there to shoot long shots on the enemy tanks. Unfortunately, he had a couple of misses, but it all paid off eventually at the end. And he was also patient enough to take a good sniping position at the end and finish off with the last tank that remained on the enemy team. As always guys, if you like this one, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. I was babbling a little bit, I hope you don't mind. If you have some comments about the things I was talking about or the gameplay, you can leave it in the comment section down below and I will answer you. And if you're wondering what to watch next, you have in the top right corner a previous video that's a T-54, a great gameplay on the Redshire map. As always guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you can do it now. I hope you guys like this one and I'll see you in the next one.